Oh, we're already live. Oh no. This is a mess. Say hi.
Hi. We're already live. Let's stop doing that.
Huh? I know, but no one's on, so it's okay. Now our head's cut off. Celeste is on. Hi.
It's okay, it's okay.
I'm so annoying. J-Rod's on. Kill me now,
Who's
please.
there?
J-Rod, you know who he is. He's a J-Rod.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hi guys. Welcome back. My name's Mills. This is
Chris.
my husband. We're having technical difficulties with my screen, like ring light / camera. So we're using Chris's phone, and my ring light's completely broken, like so far forwards. So sorry that it looks terrible, but I'll have to go back to Best Buy and buy another ring light. Hello, David. Marley. Hey guys. So sorry, like it's crooked and we're like cut off and we tried. Happy Friday. I hope you all had like a great Halloween. How was your first Halloween?
It's good, not bad.
Chris has never celebrated. Hey, thanks, J-Rod. Chris has never celebrated Halloween before. If you guys know, it's not really popular in DR. I don't know if you want to tell why. Most people probably know, but
It's just mostly because of religious reasons.
yeah. Whole new set on Amazon. Okay, I need that. Yeah, mostly religious. Like people think that Halloween is like satanic or something. But it's not. I mean, if you're American, you know that it's like a secular holiday. It doesn't really have to do with anything. So yeah, Chris came outside with me. We had like all the neighbors have like a potluck and eat outside and pass out candy outside together, and it was just adorable seeing all the little kids dressed up. And it wasn't even like a ton of kids, but it was fun, right? Innocent fun. We didn't dress up, but I told them next year we have to do a couple's costume. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay, you're gonna like it. Like something like pun, I don't know. Anyway, so an update, we submitted our adjustment of status on
That's right.
last Friday. So like exactly a week ago. And hopefully we get the NOA 1 notice like early next week. Most people that I know said that they got their NOA 1, like basically that's just saying that they received it. They got it in a week. Nothing happens. It just says that it made it there, which would be nice. Yeah, DM me the link. What forms did we file? So it was a big packet. We did not use a lawyer for this part, so it was a little bit stressful. We filed, what was a big form that you did? 485.
G485, so the adjustment status form.
Yeah, so the 485, Chris did all that, and he filled out like, okay, yeah, I'll talk to you about that. He filled out that whole form by himself. It was very long, but it was all like his information, and it's obviously all things that we already filled out on other forms for the K1 visa, but they wanted it again. So we did that. We filled out the, what was that, 45? We filled out the 864 for the financial support. So a tip, like if you're in the K1 visa process, you need to bring your binder to the interview with all of the information, and probably they won't look at it. But they might, so bring everything. I had the I-130, was it I-134? I think it's 134, the financial support, the affidavit of support, and they did not look at that. So I was gonna send it in with the AOS, but we looked again, and you don't send it in, you send in the 864 instead, which actually was a better form. It made more sense. The I-130 is confusing in like the language it uses because you can mark off like husband, but then they ask like, is he bringing his wife? And I'm like, no, I live here. So this one was better. Don't send both, just send the 864. Put all of your financial information, you should be good. You do need to make 125% of the poverty line. So if the poverty line's like 20,000 a year nationally, not in your state, then you need to make 125% of that, not times, because that would be crazy. I wish. So if you're good, if you make that much, or if you have that much in income and assets and stuff, then you shouldn't have a problem. If you don't have that much, then you need to get a like a secondary sponsor or joint sponsor, they call it. And you need to put all of their information, all of their assets too. And then they're kind of like on the hook also if he just like leaves or something, I don't know, or like wants government support, which he can't do. Luckily we don't have a joint sponsor, and hopefully they don't come back at us asking for any more information. But I have heard that self-employed people, it's a little bit confusing for them, and they get a request for more evidence. So hopefully we'll see about that. But AOS is in. Hopefully he'll have his work permit within the next few months. We'll see. Are you ready to work?
Sure.
I mean, he already works, but legally here it would be nice.
Is the process extremely different in regards to getting married in the DR to Dominican University?
No, it's not like super different. If you do the CR1 route, which is where you would marry Dominican and then wait for them in the States, he waits in the DR. I'm talking about he and her. It can be an American guy too. And then that takes longer usually to get the green card, but it's a little bit cheaper. And I think it's more like guaranteed that you're going to get approved because you're already married. So they have that kind of like they're already married, they're serious kind of thing. My friend who lived in the Dominican Republic for 3 years with her Dominican boyfriend, then fiance, then husband, did the green card that way, and she was living in the DR, and that makes it go a lot faster. And he had his green card in 4 months, and they moved to the States, and it was super, super fast, right? Like, do you think that was just because she lived there, right? Like, Chelsea, like, yeah. So if the American lives in the DR and you want to get married in the DR, and then wait for the green card there, and you are like living there, it typically goes faster. So we were like, what? We should have done that, because it was really fast. I was surprised she told me how fast it was, because usually everyone says it's slow. I think it's slower if you live in the States and your husband or wife is in the DR. But it's a pretty similar process. How long did she live? She lived there for 3 years. Yeah. So she moved back in like June to the States with him and their baby. So like if you have a baby, it throws in more to the mix. You need to like prove that that's your child and that's his child. So they had to do a bunch of things for that, get his passport.
But did you have to file the I-130 anyway, or just the adjustment status? So what is the I-130 the affidavit of support?
No.
What is the I-130?
That's another thing. It's
not the I-29.
That's another form. Like,
oh, we handed that in.
no.
Didn't we do that?
We had the I-129F.
But
That's another form.
But is the I-130 for?
So no.
It's for the marriage one.
Okay. So employment authorization. The form that talks about relative.
No, that the employment authorization is the
We're good at this.
No, the I-131 for travel, 765 is for work permit.
I-30 for green card in general. Yeah. So if you do.
Right.
Oh, Carla, I do love you. I got your question. We both do.
Who's Carla?
Who's Carla? His sister.
My sister?
Yeah.
Oh.
I love her.
Moved to Arizona. So we did fill out his work authorization, requesting him to be able to work here. as well as
Right.
the
Oh my gosh, I love you.
the 765, as well as the travel permit. So those come together, EAD, and it would allow him to travel and get back into the country and to work here legally, because he already has a social security, but it says on it like cannot work without DHS authorization.
I was gone for a little bit.
Oh, thank you. So hopefully, in theory, he gets the work and travel permit within the next like 3 to 4 months, and then within 6 months to 8 months, he gets the green card. Now, I've seen it completely different. A girl that I know applied, she submitted her AOS end of August, and she already has her green card interview December 2nd. So that's super fast. And she asked for an expedited work permit, but I guess the green card might come before that. So you never know, and I have heard that before. Other cases where they get the green card before the work permit, but usually it's longer. So I'm hoping like if he doesn't get the green card first, that's okay, as long as he can get the work permit and the travel permit. Because right now, if he leaves the country, he can't come back in. And we would like to go places. They make you list all the countries that you want to visit, and we don't know where we're going like on a honeymoon next year, so we just listed like a bunch, and we were like, we're deciding, but DR is obviously like one of them. So yeah, it sucks that they can't even like go back to their own country for a visit. I mean, I do get it, like I get the whole process.
This is like the general entry, like.
That's true.
I mean,
But you would think that like you could at least go home, visit, and come back.
No, it's
For like a
not,
week.
it's not about like them not allowing.
Can I raise this?
Allowing you like go back to your country. It's like that you can't go back to the States no matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? Just if you go to the DR, you still need to, if you want to go back.
No, I know, but it should be like except if you go to your country, right?
Wait, how do I say something else because the thing went away? Or can I keep it up? Let's see. Say something.
For what?
I was gone for
Bora Bora is one of my, oh my gosh. Bora Bora, we did not put on the list, but we did put Maldives because we were like wishful thinking.
Nice.
I think it's Maldives. Because I used to say Maldives and someone was like, no, it's not that. We put South Africa, we put a bunch, like random countries. We put Bali, Australia, New Zealand. So I don't know where we're going. Hopefully to one of those places because they all sound amazing, but it could be closer. And then, like I said, of course, Dominican Republic. We also had to submit like all of my assets. So like if you own property, if you own a car, any stocks or investments, they need that information. You need like proof of work, receipts from what? Do I need to wait for receipts? For the AOS, we're waiting for them to like tell us that they got it, that receipt. But yeah, you definitely need a lot of proof, and if you don't have the proof, then you'll probably get a request for more evidence. I put in bank statements, my last 3 years of tax returns, my payments from my freelancing thing, my investments, I don't know, a bunch of stuff. So just like overdo it, like put more than you think. And you also need your marriage certificate, which is why we waited to do the AOS. We wanted to send it sooner, but it took a while for us. It took months for us to get our marriage certificate, and you need that to be able to send it out. So you include that, like
the license one?
Yeah, marriage license.
I really just learned. How did Chris learn English? Any suggestions on this? My fiance speaks zero English. That's on you.
Well,
How did you learn English?
I basically learned English playing Pokemon.
That's not true. Don't let him tell you that. Tell them how you learned English. Okay, that wasn't that funny. How did you learn?
No, my mom put me to study English when I was like 6 years old in the Dominican Republic in Santiago.
Yes.
Then I spent there like 8
A long
years.
time. From when you were 6 to 16, like 10 years.
Yeah, like
10 years.
and then like no, what's the less than that? It was like 8 years, and I switched institutes,
Oh, yeah.
and then I spent like 2 3 years in the other one, and then
We close that.
then I was like I kept learning at the university and like at school, like in general, and like practicing with friends and like
He did learn on the computer a lot because he had a computer, so he was playing video games and like on the internet a lot.
yeah, and like also like the music has helped me a lot because I only listen like to like well in general I only listen to like American music,
Yeah.
and like you learn a lot like because you like I'm curious about the lyrics, and I
Yeah.
I listen to something that I don't understand and I look it up,
He'll like randomly ask me something, and it's usually something like a like a drug term or something like. I'm like, where did you? Oh, it's a rap song. He's like, what does that mean? I'm like, okay, trifling, but. Yeah, it's not the same for me with like Spanish songs. Like I listen to them and then it helps, but it's not as I don't know.
But make sure he practices it because like anything without practice like is pointless. Make sure he's like you're like practicing with him.
Yeah, if he speaks zero English, thanks.
What?
Songs are good for pronunciation if you're listening to like a good song that's like pretty clear. Yeah, if he speaks zero English, I would try to get him enrolled in some classes, like while you wait for the green card or for the K1 visa. If he's still in the DR, like you could have him kind of take some classes or even get a private tutor, and then by the time he gets to the States, maybe he would be able to at least have a conversation.
How do you say intensive?
Like an intense course.
Intense, yeah, because like a lot of people do that. Like they come here with zero English,
Yeah.
and they take like intense,
Like
and
a
then, like in 6 months they learn a lot.
Yeah. So like, you could do that once he's here too. I know some of them are expensive, but a lot of the girls I know whose husbands or wives are here on the K1 visa, they have like English classes at libraries, at community colleges. So lots of like communities have free programs. So I definitely see if he can do something like that. And then Duolingo, like tell him to download Duolingo on his phone. That helped me a lot with Spanish. And there's also apps called like italki, and there's one called Hello Talk, I think. And that's where you can match up with someone from another country. And you can pick like Dominican Republic, you can pick United States, and you just practice. Usually it like someone could help him with English, or you switch. Like when I was learning Spanish, I matched with Dominicans to help like practice. Just like be a little bit careful because like sometimes they'll try to like talk to you. So maybe you want to monitor that. Next question. Okay, he's annoying. I do have questions from Instagram because I put up a question like box. Someone told me last week on my live, like do an Instagram live, but like I know way too many people there, and that like proved itself because they like made fun of me in the questions. What is the one thing you hate from the US?
Me.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. I honestly don't know. Like
There's definitely things you hate.
I hate no, but
that you don't like.
That I don't like.
You wouldn't hate anything.
But I can't think of one right now. I don't know why. I used to have like a bunch, but I can't think of one right now.
You're just so happy.
Yeah, but I think it's because like I'm in a different state right now.
Chicharrón isn't the same. She said chicharrón isn't the same.
What does that mean?
Chicharrón. He doesn't even speak Spanish.
I know what's chicharrón. What's the
It's like that's one thing you don't like about being here. It's not the same. Help me. Babe, like, okay, what about the food? What's something you don't like here? The food, or maybe that we're rushing all the time?
The food's not bad, honestly.
No, I don't think it is.
Like, cause you can get anything you want.
Yeah.
Like,
But the rice, I know you miss.
But the rice you can make the same rice that you make.
Yeah, I know you can make it, but it's not like your mom's not in the kitchen
People
cooking
don't like
it for
sell
you.
it everywhere, but
Yeah, so it's a little bit harder. It's like you don't get all that Dominican food. I'm putting my hair up. Wait, what's that question say? Food is good here, but Dominican food isn't the same as over there. No, Dominican food, like if we went to a Dominican restaurant, I'd be a little bit scared here because there's not a lot of Dominicans in Arizona. There's some because of like the baseball. So they like are here. Like we can find Dominicans for them to hang out with, but there's not like Dominican restaurants, which is sad. Lots of like Mexican, obviously. There's lots of other types of like Latin American food. Why can't I think of any other like restaurants that we've been to? There's like Peruvian restaurants here that I've seen. Yeah, there's other, but there's not a lot of Dominican. If you live in Phoenix, let us know. But what else don't you like about here? Anything?
oh, I do have one thing.
Here
Like
it is.
especially in like here like where we live and around.
Pico pollo. We don't really eat pico pollo.
Where I was talking.
I know. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't like that it's dry and you get shocked everywhere. You touch anything and you get shocked. I hate that.
Yeah.
And that's like really
That's like the most minor complaint I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's
so that's good.
Like, really particular
Like
that.
every time we get out of the car, we get electrocuted. I know it's really dry in Arizona.
Oh, I don't like that.
Here it comes.
People when you're driving, people like get mad easily. Like,
Yeah.
if you do like a little like mistake, they like you know.
Did someone like flip you off yesterday? What are the differences between the people in the U.S. and Dominican Republic mills? Hey, I think they were asking me.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you can answer too.
Yeah.
You can think. I think I talk about this kind of a lot. I think that people in the Dominican Republic are nicer. People in the Dominican Republic are nicer. They're like more welcoming, I think. Well, it's kind of hard because I'm talking like from New York, but Arizona people are really nice in my opinion, and that might be because I'm from New York. People really do like talk to you here. If you're in the line online at the store or whatever, like people do like talk to you, they start conversations, they're really nice, like, but in DR, I would say people you know in DR are a lot nicer and you can make friends easier. Like people here will talk to you. I don't know if it's like fake. Sometimes in the DR I think it's like fake too, but you can actually make friends there. And like if I was like, hey, here's my number, let's go to the beach, they would be like, okay, let's go. Here, if I did that, they would be like, yeah, but they would never actually do it. So I think I'm hungry or something, they'll be like, oh, come over, my mom just made dinner, like come. And like not weird, like very welcoming. I talked about in my video I did about the car accident we got into, like literally the first day that we met. We ended up at one of his high school friends' houses, and like the parents were so nice, weren't even weird about it, made us breakfast, like let us sleep on the couch, like they were so nice. Here, I feel like the parents would be like, you guys you can't come in, it's like 2 a.m. So, and I don't know you.
Yeah.
People are nicer. People here, I think are, do you think more like, not like go-getters, but like, not more motivated, but more like active, maybe. In the DR, they bump your car and they continue. Yeah, it's true. What do you think the difference is? People are more to themselves here. Yeah, in the States, I think so. In Arizona, again, like they're pretty nice. But I would say like usually people mind their own business here.
Yeah, that's because people are like more respectful. Like they like respect people like space and like.
Yeah, that might be true.
Yeah.
They're not like nosy. Like they don't. Yeah. They're not like trying to see your business really.
But something like something like culture, I would say.
I think. Do you think Dominicans are nicer though?
But
I know.
Like in what way? Like there's like a lot of ways to be nice.
Everyone knows everyone. Yeah, DR, like you do like know everyone in your neighborhood. Everyone knows you. Like everyone, a lot of people like knew me by the time I left Santiago. Like just like around where we lived, but I don't know. I think that I don't know. There's a lot of differences,
Yeah,
but
we're more fun. That's
they
for
are, yeah, they're more fun. Right? Don't you guys think so?
It's like so different. Like it's so different. Like two like.
Am I boring? Am I boring?
No.
Dominicans are a lot of fun. Like I already knew our wedding was gonna be fun, even if we had 20 people, because there were Dominicans there. So it's funny because like sometimes they're sitting on their phone and they're like not fun at all, which Americans also. But then like there's other times when you just know everything's gonna be fun, because like they're ready to dance, they're ready to party, and they're like more go with the flow, especially his guy friends. We like went out with his two twins, like Peter and Pierre, who I love, and it was me and two of my girlfriends and Peter and Pierre, and Chris wasn't with us. We went to the mall or something, and we were like taking long, and then we had to stop at the store and all this stuff, and they were just like totally fine. Like they never said like no, like oh yeah, I want to go back to the house, like oh I want to be with the guys. Oh my gosh, your phone. But they're easygoing. Like Americans might get a little bit madder at stuff, or like okay no, like I thought I was going to be home like an hour ago, and they're just totally chill. Yeah, you're gonna have a good time with Dominicans. Like there's so many times where I started the day and it took me like a complete different direction, and like always fun.
That's your question.
What was the question?
It was like if we have traveled to another countries
Together?
and have we enjoyed it?
I didn't see that.
No, we just travel like together to like to here to the States and like back to the DR. But we really want to go like all over the world if we can.
Yeah, we've been to New York, Florida, Boston, Arizona, Utah, California together, DR together, and there's so many more places. But yeah, we didn't get to go to any other countries when I was living there. He needs visas to go to a lot of those countries, and we came back here for like Christmas, so like obviously we had to come like for my family, but we have plans to go to, like I want to go to every country, honestly. I don't know if that will happen, but I love traveling. Oh, let's go. But we are going to go on a trip in 2020 to another country. We're going on a cruise to Alaska in August with my family, which I'm excited for. That's not another country, but we love traveling, and you've never been to other countries, so you're probably excited to see, like, I feel like he'll love Europe. Oh, someone said something. Is there a time difference?
Yeah, there's 3 hours difference.
Yes, so we're 3 hours behind in Arizona, and then sometimes 4 daylight savings times coming, and Arizona is the only state that doesn't change their clocks. It's super confusing.
No, it's always 3.
Oh, because DR doesn't change either. We're always 3 hours.
Yeah. Between California and the DR, yes. Sometimes it's 4.
Sometimes
Right now it's
3.
3. It's gonna be 4 soon. When it's winter time.
No, like this weekend, I think it changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's winter time.
Yeah. And then in summer it's 3. Someone asked like why do all the Dominicans why do they think that America's so great, and why do they all want to marry Americans? And J-Rod said because what they see on the media.
Yeah, like, well, I would say the main reason is because like Dominicans are naturally attracted to like foreign women. I would say that in general, not every case, but what?
I think like I think a lot of people are attracted to things that they don't see a lot.
Yeah, and also they like the ones that have not traveled, they think that here is like a paradise, like they come here and they're gonna like be rich the next day, or they're gonna be like successful the next day, but that's 100% wrong. Like,
if you see any, like they watch, obviously maybe not obvious, but every movie that we get here, the big movies here, they go to the DR too. So a lot of Dominicans that are, especially ones from smaller towns, but that still have a movie theater, they're going to the movies and they're seeing like Hollywood films, and they think that like even if it's like a romantic comedy, they're like, oh, this is what it's like. Or it's an action movie, like, oh, everyone has a nice car. Oh, everyone has a nice house.
Yeah.
Oh, the food, like, they just think that it's like that because they haven't traveled.
They think it's easy, like
Yeah.
everything's easy. But
Yeah.
like, it's actually like life's actually way harder here. Like it's so laid back in the DR. Like you don't have to worry about anything in the DR.
Yeah, pretty
I mean-
much anything can be taken care of tomorrow, like
Yeah,
in the DR. Like no issue is like so pressing. And I've kind of talked about that before, but I think, yeah, like if you're hungry there, someone's gonna feed you. And I know it's kind of the same thing here. Like we have more programs in place and like services, but like it's not that close knit. So like if you're on your own, you're kind of on your own.
Many of them were surprised when I tell them many Americans are broke.
I know, same. Like people think that if you're American, you can't be poor.
America is definitely on the struggle bus. Amen. Majority of everyone is living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, like they're just seeing the movie side, the music videos, Instagram, so they don't really get it. People who travel and have their tourist visa, like Chris had been to the States like 4 times before he met me. He saw like, oh, New York is cool, but it's definitely not as cool as the movies make it. Like it's dirty and it's freezing and it smells. Like, you know, like the reality of situations when you go there, just like in the DR. If you've never been to the DR and you only see pictures of the beach in Punta Cana, you're probably like, oh my gosh, it's a paradise. And then you go to another beach and you see garbage and you're like, wait, what? Like the reality of a situation is different when you have that like smoke and mirror situation.
If the lake goes out here, people complain and people here can't shower with cold water and then you go to DR and get used to it.
Yeah, like
Right.
it's not an issue there. Like okay, this is kind of gross, but I was talking in the group that I'm in of people that are in the K1 process, and most of them have their fiance or husband or wife in the States now, and they were talking about teaching most of the people are girls, about teaching their fiancés how to like they need to put the toilet paper in the toilet, not in the garbage can. If you've been to the DR, if you live in the DR, if you're Dominican, you know like you don't flush the toilet paper down the pipes. The pipes are like so small there, they're all like they need to be repaired, blah blah blah. And the guys were like, what? Like that's crazy, that's so like amazing, like you guys are spoiled. But I had another friend who was like, I could never do that. Like I would never do that. And I was like, but you would. Like, and she, like her husband is Dominican and she would visit him. And she was like, he didn't do that. And I was like, he should have. Like, even if he didn't. I mean, like, I don't know any Dominicans who don't do that. Even if you're like wealthier, you still are supposed to do that because it all goes to the same pipes, but not my business. Showering with bucket water. Yeah. So you get used to it. My point is I lived there for 2 years and it was just, you get used to things. Like,
Yeah, like
and it's not an issue. No one's walking around the streets there like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't flush toilet paper, like the pipes. You get used to it.
yeah, right.
Which in one sense, it might like hold the country back, maybe the people back, because they can maybe fix some of these things, and it's a little bit of like ambivalence. But on the other hand, it's like you just realize like you just get used to things. I don't know.
They don't understand that many people who do take a vacation usually save months in advance before and the cost of living, You can't read that fast. I don't know why it disappears. Can I keep them up?
Yeah, I think so. That's it.
Um,
That's that thing. Yeah.
Oh, top. Oh, message. I don't know.
Just keep like
Makes
that.
it seem like
Just-
America.
to see you.
How did you feel about motos? First time I was okay.
Yeah, I can talk about that. But yeah, totally true, J-Rod. Like, people see like Americans travel a lot, which we're super blessed to have the passport that we have. Like, we don't need visas to go to every country, but traveling out of America is really expensive. And I'm even jealous of like Europeans. Like, I have a friend who's from Belgium in the DR. She lives in the DR, and she travels everywhere all the time because Europe is so close and so cheap to fly. So it's all relative. But Americans, like, they do need to save a lot to travel out of the country. And I think, yeah, Dominicans might not realize that
Even
we're
like-
saving to
even
do
like
that.
flying like national, like
Even, yeah, in the country is really expensive. Like, it's
because
crazy.
in Europe you can travel like 10.
I know,
euros.
it's crazy. Someone said the motos in the DR, and how did I feel? So when I would go to the DR mission trips, I went every summer for like 2 weeks, and we weren't allowed on motos. And I was always like, I want to go on a moto because I was a teenager and I thought it was fun. And then I went on vacation there with my 2 best friends, Les and Brenna, and we went on motos a lot, like every day, and it was just like not an issue. I don't even know, like they were scary, but they weren't at the same time. Like there was one time when I stayed at a hostel and my friend worked there and he was like, do you want ice cream? And obviously I'm a fat ass. I was like, yeah, definitely. So we went to the town to get ice cream and it was like getting dark out on his moto on a dirt road, potholes, and he was speeding. This is deep. And I was like, first of all, you have no lights. Second of all, I'm on the back. Third, there's potholes. You can't see, like,
no helmets.
And you're no helmets, obviously. You're going like so fast. And I told him, like, you were gonna like die. And then but we were careful. I remember one time we went on we were in Cabarete for part of the trip and we went back to the hotel and it was like really late or something. And the hotel was like 15 minutes. So like we had to take a moto or a taxi. We couldn't find anything. We found one moto and he was like, I can take you all 3 of you. So it was me, Brenna, and Les. Brenna was basically hanging off the back on the road. Like, I don't know, it doesn't work, just leave it. And the moto driver was sitting on my lap, like literally, legs up, sitting on my lap, and I was like, this is fine, on the highway. But I've seen like crazy things, like I went on another trip with another friend, and the guys were, the same kid was like Supermaning on his bike. Like they dropped us off, and they were like, watch this, on a windy road, laying flat across their moto, hands on the wheel, one of them like filming. I was like, and then they like seriously regretted that because the whole way down the mountain I was lecturing him like, do you want to die? You have like a kid, don't you want to like be there to see them grow up? And he's like, okay, I won't do that again. But once I lived there, I still took motos like every day in Jarabacoa. If you've been to Jarabacoa, you know it's like way slower. There are more people have cars now, but a ton of people have motos. Most people ride their motos. It's like fine, it's not a big deal. That I liked because I could just go on the moto to school and back, and I had friends with motos, or I had there's moto drivers. Like I would just have a moto driver. Like they're so cheap. You pay like 25 pesos or whatever. But once I went to Santiago, I stopped that, and I didn't go on motos anymore. When I went to Jarabacoa, like I would, I guess, to like get a moto to where I was going, but I didn't like go on motos like I used to. Probably because like Santiago, I would never go on a moto. Don't ever, because so much traffic, so many cars. The roads are too small and they're so crowded. And like they do come right into traffic. Like because like there's cars everywhere and they're not looking where they're going.
They're like dangerous.
And then like there's intersections everywhere and no one stops.
If you want to go on a moto, you can do it like by yourself with a helmet.
Even then.
You can like if you're like
San Domingo, I would literally never. We literally like two weeks ago.
I've been in a moto like.
He's been on a moto less than me.
Like 3 times in my
life.
entire
I've been on a moto like 300 times, but like his mom was stricter and smarter. But like 2 weeks ago, these teenagers were racing each other in Santiago and hit a moto with a girl on the back, and they both died. They both like flew off the bridge. Okay. Oh, I got it. So I would recommend if you're gonna go on a moto, like don't like be smart about it. Like we got in a car accident the first night we met. The driver hit a moto. Like
you need like to control the driver to say like, listen, I don't want to die. Go slow.
A lot of them are drunk.
I'm not in the rush.
No helmets, on the phone. you can't trust like the drivers there. That's the problem. Like you can trust yourself and be like, no, I'm fine. My moto's fine, but the driver.
They want to go fast, so they like earn the money like faster. You know what I'm saying? That's like the Uber drivers even like do that.
Even driving in the DR in a car with seatbelts on is scary because you know that someone else is drunk or someone else is speeding or someone else is literally sitting on top of a truck. Not a care in the world. What do you think about cops in the DR versus cops here?
She retracted it.
Well, whatever. Answer anyway. What do you think about cops in the DR versus cops here?
Well, I've never like really dealt with cops here, but like from what I know, like here, like they're like so like, you know, so strict.
Yeah.
And like in the DR, like I've dealt with cops several times. I would say like you have to be like you can't come with that mentality here because you can get like
don't try to pay a cop off here. I told him like I don't even know what happens.
I know. I mean.
I know you know.
I've done that in the DR because like
you can, and it's expected.
I mean, yeah, but it's not good. But like ignorance and like a lot of people do it.
I've never been pulled over in the DR. I've never like anything with a cop in the DR, but if I did, I would definitely either pretend I don't speak Spanish or bribe them or we're getting there or like do anything to like I don't know, I would just be like, no, I'm not paying that. Like I did, you probably saw my traffic video, like or when I got my car towed, which was ridiculous. And I was definitely trying to negotiate with everyone, but here I would just be like, nope. Especially in Arizona, I don't know, they're like crazy here. And I told him because like, you are. Oh, is he in Arizona? Yeah, I don't know how I've never gotten pulled over there because I would drive alone all the time. I just got lucky, but I'm sure at some point in the DR I'll get pulled over, but it's all good. I would 100% get let go. I'm telling you that right now. But here, he hasn't had any experiences. He hasn't gotten pulled over. I'm sure at some point we will have an experience with a cop here, and hopefully it's positive. And he would definitely follow the rules. But someone asked another question. Shoot.
Like I think it was like how am I adjusting to?
Oh yeah, how are you adjusting to Arizona?
Right now I'm pretty used to it. I would say like I know more or less how everything goes and like the lifestyle here.
Yeah, that's good.
We've been to like multiple places, dealt with multiple people.
Do you feel like you're like that you actually live here now? Or do you feel like you're like still on?
After 3 weeks, I felt like it was already like established here.
Nice, okay. And you like it better than New York, right?
Yeah.
Someone said, do we have our own house yet, or do we live with your parents?
So, just so I know, like, how.
We only have like 5 questions.
Okay.
So we still live with my parents because we tried to get a loan for a house.
Yes.
And we can't because I am self-employed and I need another year of tax returns. So in January, that's when we're like starting that process. Again, we would rather buy than rent. So hopefully, I always do my taxes in January, so then I'll have another year of tax returns to give to them. They're like self-employment is like stupid in that sense. Like I can't use any of my other jobs for it for some reason. I can only use my self-employment. Like I work at H&R Block too and do marketing. I can't use that at all. So it's weird. So yes, otherwise we could rent. I feel like it's been fine living with my parents and people here. It's weirder for people here, I guess. Not as much anymore, but Dominicans, they stay at home forever. So it's like fine. And like we get along with my parents really well, so it's fine. Yeah, rent and mortgage they're like similar. So my parents are like, no, buy a townhouse or a condo, don't buy a house because it's so much work and it's so expensive. So if we buy something, maybe it will be a townhouse, maybe it will be a small house, but we do want to buy in the DR too for like land. But we would decide to wait until January so we can get another year of tax returns, and by then, hopefully, maybe it's not 4 months, maybe he'll be working. But yeah, we'll see. Someone said, when are the babies coming? I mean,
they're gonna come whenever they have to come.
when they have to come, hopefully soon. But we'll see. 3. 2 or 3. Yeah, this is like an awkward question. Yeah, no one asked how many kids I want, so yeah, we'll see. My cousin lives in Phoenix. She says there are a lot of scorpions there. Is your cousin? Are they cool? Do they want a friend?
No, I don't.
We've never seen one.
I haven't really seen one yet.
I've never had one in the house. My cousin does for some reason. But they're tiny, and they always see them before someone steps on them. And you can take a black light and go outside at night on her trees and like put the black light, and you see all of them because they glow in the dark.
That's not a concern for me. My only concern is like getting shot everywhere. That's my only concern.
Doesn't like. I wish I was that.
That's my biggest fear here.
Also, there's no spiders that I see really. Does Arizona have high taxes? Not compared to New York.
No.
And that's what I'm used to.
Even like buying online, it's like most places, when you like put your address here, they like.
Really?
Yeah. They like get the taxes off.
Yeah, Northeast New York. I'm like from New York. No, so expensive. Like 2 years of living in Manhattan, and I was like, all right, bye. Like, no, I would never be able to afford anything like to buy there. Food was so expensive. I went to school in Connecticut, like college. Taxes aren't that bad here. Property taxes, they're not bad. And houses are more affordable, but they're getting really expensive. Something like 700 people move here a week or something crazy. So traffic is getting a little bit bad. Are you actually going to New York, J-Rob? Why? Where? It's fun. I actually think everyone should move. My nose is so itchy. Everyone should move to New York for 1 or 2 years because you get super mature. You see a lot. Everything's open until 4 a.m. or 24/7. It's fun. You get to you just grow up. And I think that everyone needs to have an experience like that. And I moved to New York alone. I didn't know anyone, to Manhattan. I had no friends, and it was really just you figure it out. So it was good, and I think it helped me move to the DR. It made that transition less traumatic or less scary. But New York is really make it or break it. I went to Quinnipiac in Hampton. New York is a no-go for me. Yeah, or no for me. Same. I don't want to live there anymore. I love it. I love visiting. I have a lot of friends there. Still, which I wish they were here, but I don't want to live there anymore. I don't like the cold. The humidity sucks in the summer. I would fall every day in the winter, sliding on ice. No. What advice would you give to another Dominican that moves to the States? Yeah.
Just be prepared. You're gonna expect for a huge, for a big change.
My posture.
Don't come with the same mentality. Be prepared. Be mature. That's what I was saying.
You're gonna have fun. You have a lot more opportunities. You're gonna experience a lot of things. It's gonna be great. You're gonna miss your family. And hopefully you can set yourself up that you can visit your family a lot. But I think you really do have a lot more opportunities here if you in jobs and whatnot. You have more options, especially if you're in a skilled trade or something. But it's a very different lifestyle. So you are sacrificing that laid backness for some of those luxuries, I guess. How many lists does it take to get to the center of this pussy pop? I hate so much.
What was it?
I can't. When are you moving in with us? Hopefully soon. When will you guys start a family? Okay. Soon. Hopefully.
would you live in any other state but Arizona, or do you think you're good there? Well, we're mostly here for my family, my cousins, my parents. We also really like Arizona, but if it was an option, like, you know, I really like being close to my family, but it was not like a thing like I would never move anywhere. I really like Utah, California's cool, but they're too expensive. I don't know where else I would move to. Like, I don't want to move to anywhere cold. Oh, Colorado, yeah. Florida, girl. Tara, no, I don't like Florida. I mean, my aunt lives in, she lives in Jacksonville, like right on the beach in, where does she live? Atlantic Beach?
Atlantic Beach.
No, but like, is that the name of the town?
That's not in Jacksonville.
Yeah, she lives like 30 minutes, and it's really nice. I really like it. So I was like, maybe I can go there, but Florida's weird. Like, people are crazy. Miami in summer. Miami, I like. I've been to Miami, but I feel like it's like Miami's kind of like LA to me, and I don't like that lifestyle. Like, always trying to like one up each other and like having the nicest stuff and really like, I don't know. You know, it's like seems exhausting, and people do stay out really late. What are you doing?
I'm just looking for a question that I saw.
No, that was it. Someone asked,
Yeah, what kind of job do you have while living in Japan?
So what?
So I had my business. I still have it, but I was just doing that. We have clients here in the States.
Yeah. Oh, I have water.
And they send us projects that are built here built here in the States. So we do that. We do them in the DR. We have an office, and we have like 5 people. So that.
He's an engineer for houses and buildings. How did my parents feel about Chris? They love him, like, more than they like me. I think that's the reason why they want us to stay here. They love him so much, and they'll literally take any opportunity to tell anyone ever, like, how great he is. And he's, like, super helpful in the house, too, which is good for my mom, because my dad can't do that much, so, like, the, like, more, like, manual labor outside and stuff, he's really helpful with. And they have learned a little bit of Spanish, a tiny bit, mostly my mom. But she speaks a little French, or she used to speak French, but she kind of forgot it. And I think it's a little bit more similar, but I'll say something to Chris in Spanish, like on purpose, because I don't want them to listen, and then she like somehow picks up generally what I'm saying. So I'm like, oh, I guess you are picking it up. No, really, I'm like, okay, they act like he's, like, they just love him. They act like, that he's like, yeah, that Latin base. They act like he's their, like, golden son, and I'm like, he's not. They love him so much. But your parents love me too, right? Yeah. Like, his dad messages me, like, all the time, and he's like, yo te amo, I miss you. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. And they came and they didn't want to leave for the wedding. I was surprised. I didn't think his dad would like it, and he loved it. So I hope they come back soon. Someone else asked a question about.
It's gonna be your longest video.
I know. Here you go. You can read it. Guys, he's so cute in Spanish. Read it.
¿Qué le parecería un junte en DR para sembrar árboles? What's the?
I don't know.
Does he want to harvest? You know?
I don't know. You answer that.
I mean, I don't know if that's an expression. I mean, I don't know if you want to like build that, but
well,
or if it's an expression, like I don't really know.
So it's not. Someone asked, do we speak more English or Spanish together? More English, because Chris like doesn't speak Spanish anymore.
She hates Spanish.
That's literally not true. I ask him all the time to speak Spanish. I don't know why he only speaks English. It's annoying. And I'm gonna have to make him to start speaking just Spanish. Is your husband going to keep in your business? Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is like getting a job to get like steady income, and then like part-time work on that on my business,
Yeah.
and like also trying to get more clients.
Yeah, they have people working for like employees, so they can like do the work and he can get more clients. So they've worked really hard on it. So it'd be like sad to like stop. Yeah, but you want to work full time here too. Someone asked, oh, did we learn any like Dominican dishes? We have rice and beans in the pantry, but we haven't like done it again because it was such a fail. Such a fail. But tostones we can do. Anyone can do that.
Doesn't make
Yeah, I really want to make sancocho and just like throw everything in a pot. Maybe I can handle that. Someone said I was told that buying property in DR is a bad investment, especially if you don't live there. Oh, or do you agree?
It depends where you buy
yeah.
and like what you buy.
Yeah.
Because you can get scammed. That's
yeah. True. Oh my gosh. This lady, there's this American lady or Canadian, and she had she bought a condo in the DR, like 2 or 3 apartments, and she basically like got scammed by a young like Spanky, and he somehow convinced her to like sign all of them over to him, and she because she didn't understand the paperwork, but he did, so now he owns them, basically. Anyway, you can get scammed on like the money side. Like if you're an American, for example, when we buy land, he'll like negotiate. And I'll try because I can't stay out of anything. But like you just want a local to be there with you, walking you through the process. There's a few girls that I know that own apartments, or they own a condo, or they own a small house in the DR, and they rent it out. But like you have to have someone in the DR that you trust to be like your property manager, or if you have an Airbnb, to like come clean it and to make sure everything's good and to make sure you don't have any people like taking advantage of you while you're there. It's better if you live there. If you live in the country but you have a house that you don't live in, I think it's fine because then you're like there to check on it. What we would do is build a house and then we would probably Airbnb it or rent it out when we're not there. But we have people that we trust that could like help monitor it when we're not there. I would say you definitely need to understand like the laws and housing and things a little bit more and be really careful because there's some loopholes that I've heard that are really weird if you don't know what you're doing. So you have to be careful. But I love like the idea of an investment property, so I would never really probably tell anyone not to do it. I would just say like make sure you're educated and you have a local walking you through the process, and that's someone that's there that you trust to take care of it. Right? Are we going to the gym? I think I'm gonna go to the gym. So. Any other questions? Oh, I wanted to say, I meant to start with this, sorry, and then like my whole light fell on my face. I wanted to thank you guys for like so much love on our wedding video. Like everyone was so nice. And it made us so happy. And I still need to go through and like answer everyone that commented such nice things, but yeah, it was amazing to see like all of your support on that video. We loved the wedding video. Like, we think it turned out really great. I can't watch it without crying because I'm me. Thank you so much for like your well wishes because of that. Do I know how to dance bachata? I do, but I suck. So.
There was a question before that.
Yeah, I do know how to dance bachata, but thank you. The wedding was great, but he doesn't want to practice with me ever. I always like put on
Answer that question.
Romeo Santos, and I'm like, let's dance, and he'll dance for like 20 seconds, and I will.
Like, to elaborate that much.
I do need to elaborate. Everyone loves to hear me talk for an hour. What was the other question? Oh, where in the DR will we build our house? Do you want to answer that since I talk too much?
We want to build ultimately in Samaná. If not, North Coast, say.
Las Caleras.
Yeah, that's in Samaná. North Coast, I would say Rio San Juan, which is not that developed, or that's
I know, I'm
Northeast
just looking
Coast.
my boat.
But yeah.
Yeah, I thought about like Caudete, but I don't think so. I think I want to be like more east. And you just popped up. You guys don't have to apologize when you ask me questions. Like on Instagram, I get a lot of messages, but I like expect them because I make videos about like stuff like this, and I know there's not a ton of like videos DR specific for people that want to move there and stuff. Especially as like a female, or if you're going alone, or if you're teaching. So like I never like mind that. I like helping people. So yeah, if you have any visa questions, like you can ask me. I like ask Chris. Whatever.
Thank you guys for watching.
I'm surprised you last this long. I told him 20 minutes. Okay, guys. If there's any other questions, comment them below. This was fun. I love doing lives because I like oh, he's literally leaving. I love like the real time part of it. I just never shut up. So here we are an hour later. Oh, do you think once you have kids, you're going to give them dual citizenship?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I guess we need to talk about that.
They're gonna be born here, and
No.
they're gonna go to the DR as much as they can, but they're gonna be born here and like.
They'll be both. They'll be dual citizens. It's fine.
Nah.
I'm the boss.
That's not necessary.
No, but it's fun.
It's not. Well, how?
Like, I'm a dual citizen. Do you guys know how annoying it would be if I was a dual citizen? I would tell everyone.
Yeah.
Like, in every conversation, I'd be like, just so you guys know.
Thank you for watching. Peace.
Okay, you can leave. I'm saying goodbye.
Are we done?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't want to just hang up.
Well, look at
That's
the time.
rude. I know, I see the time. I know, they'll be dual citizens. See, they'll have to pay tourist fees and stuff. They'll be dual citizens, don't worry. We have some time before they, well, I guess not. Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, thank you for watching. Comment below any other questions you have. I keep meaning to put up the, like, Colorado honeymoon video, and I want to do another mystery, like, crime video, but my computer broke. So I am so polite. So that's why I'm on his phone. I keep doing lives. But like hopefully Monday my computer will be back. For now I'm using like my old ass 2015, so it barely runs. Yeah. Anyone who wants to collab or wants me to interview them, let me know. I would love to do a collab on my channel. You don't have to stay. He loves this. He's just shy. And if you have an interesting story or something, let me interview you, or we can collab. That'd be fun. But more, if you like any suggestions, comment below. Next week I'll have a video up that I edited and made that's not me rambling for an hour with him next to me. Thank you for all your support, and I don't want to say bye.
Bye, guys.
He hates me. Bye. Love.